against Tuho. By the way, again, we had to almost end early yesterday as well before the round of 16 matches took place. So before we get too much in this draft, again, looking at the bracket, there was the one result that stood out to me. It's more so it kind of sucked these two teams had to play in the round of 16, but sometimes with these open qualifiers, that's how it works. But I was going over how the Synderen stack, it was Synderen, Era, Jonas Van Hansken, they ended up playing SFTE, which is you got Illidan, Nikwa, Peksu, SDST, so obviously a very good team, and SFT actually won that game. Best of one there, so they knocked them out in the round of 16 going in this event. So, but that's just how it plays out sometimes with these open qualifiers.
It was interesting to see that top bracket, like you mentioned, SFTE playing up against them, and then you had Wagamama's team as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, in that top best of, what was that, best of round of 16, there was 3, in the top 2 brackets, there was 3, pro player teams in there. So effectively, you were going to lose 2 teams, no matter what came through after the quarterfinals, which was, looking forward to seeing them maybe go further, but just the way of the draw that they didn't get through, and it happens. But yeah, as soon as we finished yesterday, I went to watch the UK Dota stack that were playing up against Sweggers. As soon as I loaded into the match, it was completely over. So,
so wait, did Waga's team win that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't, like I said, I didn't see the full match, but I was hoping that UK Dota could try and push on, maybe make a go of it, but unfortunately we crash and burn like we usually do.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, there'll be plenty more opportunities for a UK squad to have some kind of impact on the Dota 2 competitive scene here coming up, but not this one apparently. All right, we got this draft underway. We have a Nature's Prophet first pick. It was a Puck Sanking response, and then Nyx Assassin coming out for the RSC over here for the Radiant side once again, but. Yeah, pretty standard stuff, especially, Tuho, it seems like they've been liking this duo of heroes. We watched them a couple times even yesterday. I've watched them even more than that lately. The Puck Sanking, just solid choices. Not surprised to see them here.
No, the control's good, and it just offers a lot of utility. You've got the Sanking that obviously can throw out the slows with his ultimate, but going to be able to keep them in range of the epicenter to start with before the Dream Call breaks. The sounds coming out from the Puck as well. Going to be great up against the Nyx Assassin, who is... He does have a decent amount of right click, but usually you see him, in that caster role builds, those kind of items. The Nyx Assassin actually a good pickup after drafting the Nature's Prophet, because it means that you take away one of those counters for the Nature's Prophet and even stick it on your team, which is a great Roman hero. And if someone like the Puck does get caught out, it does put him in a lot of danger one-on-one.
10 seconds to go.
Rubik is standing out to me right now, just mainly because this is Team Tuho, and they love them their Rubik. Insania actually has history playing that, but he's been playing more the 4 position lately. But still, I've noticed they've been drafting it despite that. Demon, we mentioned this yesterday, and I got clarification from Pandora, who's their manager. He was making a point that, yeah, Demon is playing in place of Pablo today. Again, I don't know if they're still trying all these players out or if this is just simply a stand-in situation. But simply put, Demon, at least for this event, is playing for Team Tuho, and thus he is here. But yeah, Rubik, again, off the bat, would be my guess if they're just going to continue with the comfort factor, being a best of one after all
Radiance pick.
in this series. Oh, well, I'm wrong. They go Rasta.
Yeah, it adds to the control. Obviously, you got your Hex, your Shackles, but level 1 and 2, just because of the insane boost to his right-click damage, I think it's, what, 72, 74 at level 1? It's just absolutely immense for zoning off-lane heroes.
Hey, there's the Rubik. That's what I meant to say. The Radiant side picking it up.
It was in there somewhere,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Knew it was coming somewhere. I will say, it actually does feel like it fits a little bit better on the Radiant side anyways, considering what he can steal, especially with that Rasta pick. If you let him get wards, which ideally you shouldn't, of course, but if he gets those wards, that's really dangerous. We're going quickly, though, all of a sudden. Troll Warlord and then into a Visage coming out here for the Radiant. So we're going to see another core Visage, most likely.
Yeah, again, I like that as a hero. I like it, the role it's being played on. I think yesterday when we did see it, it wasn't used to its full effectiveness, but it was. It's a hard hero to utilize if you can't get right off the bat. If you can't get ahead and carry on steamrolling. But I just looking at the side of the Radiant, just got to wonder what they're going to be playing as the main core, because there's as 4 heroes already. It's 4 great heroes, but trying to fit them together. Maybe they look for the split push with the Nature's Prophet and the Visage. The next assassin, the Rubik, going to be able to keep the Dire busy. But if it does come down to team fights, or if the Radiants do start to fall behind, I kind of worry about the comeback mechanic.
Yeah. Lifestealer may be one that stands out to me a little bit. That could be a potential for the Radiant side. He's got a great transport in Nyx Assassin, and he's kind of a fighting core, which I feel like they need here. I feel like they need a core, because especially having the Nature's Prophet split push / he's going to soak up a bit of farm throughout the map. You don't want to get like an anti-mage or anything like that, which it would obviously take away and kind of be awkward, it feels like. So that's one for me, at least, that comes to mind off the bat. They are going to have the first pick here of the final 2 picks, as they ban Broodmother. Okay. I don't know if I've seen Tuho run Broodmother yet, but hey, you never know. You never know, so do not want to give up some cheesy strat here.
No, especially with the Troll Warlord. Those spiders and the little spiderites taking down towers easily once you get the Troll Warlord's ult up.
Yeah.
And again, with the Shadow Shaman wards, it's just, you put a Broodmother on one lane and you barrel down the other lane with 4 heroes, and you can take 4 towers within 30 seconds.
And I got plenty of extra time to think about this one. Is there a core that comes to mind for you?
I like the Chaos Knight, the Luna as well. It just adds to, the Luna especially adds to what effectively could be the split push or the distraction push. If you can use 4 heroes to keep the other team busy. And with the illusions, you get your Manta Style, or with the Chaos Knight, obviously your ultimate as well in there. You can push without really putting yourself in danger. I think it's great for team fighting because it's multiple targets that you can offer, or you can engage against multiple targets. Whereas the Troll Warlord, it is only effectively, apart from his Will and Axes, it's a 1v1 matchup that the Troll Warlord looks to look for. So anything that does give you a bit more advantage makes them able to engage more than one hero. I do think it's, and I think that's a little bit underappreciated at the minute. So yeah, I do like I say, the Chaos Knight, the Medusa, the Luna, heroes like that.
Okay, yeah, no, that's I see the logic there, and it does make sense. So we'll see if RSC decides along those lines as well. They're going to be using plenty, if not even all their extra time. Yeah, I will go back to my Lifestealer pick. Troll Warlord, it would be pretty decent against that, so I guess that would be the downside, and maybe leaning more towards that Illusion, hell, even a Terrorblade perhaps, if you really want to have that split push presence and more of an illusion-based hero even comes to mind. So down to 15 seconds, going to figure this out. As far as the other side goes, though, Tuho, obviously, they're going to have to react right here. They still need their offlane, don't they? That's kind of well, I guess they couldn't. They actually even did it yesterday. Make a offlane puck could be a thing, too. So, Arc Warden going to be their pick. Oh, I mean, I guess that fits that idea that you were going with, to be fair. So, just maybe not the one that came to mind.
Yeah, I do like the Arc Warden. You don't see it that often, but it can just be really devastating. Because you basically effectively can throw down a decent minefield if you're being chased, or if heroes are running away from you, and just being able to throw out your Tempest Double as well. It's one of those heroes, especially when you line it up with the Nature's Prophet and the Visage. It can just be a pain in the ass.
It's really annoying, and I know Garter's actually been playing it a fair amount too for Tuho, so this isn't necessarily going to catch them off guard, maybe in the sense of, oh crap, we're playing against an Arc Warden, and do we really know what to do against it? Again, Garter's played it plenty himself, so if anything, going to be able to give that insight to the team as far as what they should be doing when it comes to dealing with them. But they're running down here. I mean, I figure they still want their mid, possibly, as I was mentioning, maybe the puck off lane, and
your team is ready.
Okay, they go Juggernaut.
Some interesting choices.
So what are they going to do with the lanes here? Are they going to go like an aggressive Juggernaut tri lane, perhaps, or aggressive dual lane?
I mean, with the Juggernaut, you could see the Juggernaut mid up against the Visage with the healing ward. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I could definitely see a safe lane puck and aggressive tri lane with the Sand King, Shadow Shaman, and Troll Warlord.
That was a different final. Yeah, I was not expecting that as far as their final pick at all. I guess I'm really just trying to think of the logic here. Is it just maybe another hero that fits well with when it comes to being able to team fight, take advantage of the battle trance, I guess, of Troll Warlord for even pushing towers. It's just crazy auto attack speed, but I don't know. Is there something more that's standing out to you, or?
No, I think you've nailed it. It's another hero, like you say, that takes advantage of the Troll Warlord's ult. Great for the team fights. The only thing it obviously needs to watch out for, throwing out that Omni Slash. There is going to be the Tempest double, there's going to be the Treants, there's going to be the Familiars, so it needs to be careful in the team fights how he uses the ult.
Yeah. Interesting final pick. Quakefa's going to be playing it here. Yeah, that's the other thing too, because Quakefa has usually been playing the off lane actually for Tuho when I've been watching them recently. Mickey's been more the mid, and then of course Garter in the safe lane. If anything, he's the one playing the Juggernaut, but of course he's going to be playing the Troll here. Right now, Puck is heading towards the bottom lane, and it does seem like Quakefa is instead going to be in the middle here as their mid option. So, okay, so Visage, I think, is going to end up mid for the other side, right? As he's heading towards bottom, though. What are they doing? Are they bringing an Arc Warden mid? Would they do that?
It could be. Definitely one of the heroes that you do see mid when it's picked up. It's a very versatile pick. You can run it in all three lanes. Picking up the Tangos as well as the Wraithband, though, makes me think it's going to be more of a safe lane pick. Just because you get a bit more protection with your supports. You know, you're not really building for that. If you do get ganked, you want to survive. You're just going for your pure. You know, you want to start off right. You just want to start with the right clicks, and you don't really want to be bothered in the lane.
Yeah, as far as competitive goes, I feel like every Arc Warden we do see in the safe lane, it's just the way things were kind of heading, it just seemed like maybe that wasn't going to be the case. But yeah, now it does, as Visage is heading towards that top bounty rune, sure enough, and he'll end up in the mid. So and again, that's what we kind of expected, and I'm sure Tuho did as well when the lineup came. So I also wonder, again, not knowing much really inside of a Visage versus Juggernaut matchup, but if they just feel like Juggernaut, for whatever reason, is a comfortable pick against the Visage. I guess his spin allows him to get around the idea of the shallow grave and the Soul Assumption nuke if it's necessary, but I don't know. I mean, he's going the Poor Man Shield early on, so he's going to be able to tank plenty of damage.
Yeah, and this is something you usually see with Juggernaut mid, just for the Poor Man Shield, because especially up against a ranged hero, if you're taking that damage, you want to be minimizing it as much as possible. And it looks like he's even going to be able to chase down if he gets brave enough. Mastermind's movement speed 285 versus the 300 Juggernaut. So if he does get in range for a spin, he is going to be able to do a lot of damage to Mastermind.
Yeah. That's just going to be a fun middle matchup. Quakefa, of course, has plenty of history playing in mid in general, but like I said, on Team Tuho at least, he's been playing more of the off lane from what I can tell. But again, be in the mid here, see how it works out. Bottom lane, they are doing the Insania Mickey aggressive dual lane. It's something that we've seen them do yesterday, in fact. In fact, I want to say it's almost the same combination, maybe, of the Puck and Sand King. Oh, that's a first blood.
Well done.
I missed it, and I assume you did too, by the way you're reacting. Well then. How? I mean, it is a Rasta up there with a troll. They probably just got, I mean, where he died, that was kind of the funky part. It was like at his tower, but I guess they just dove it.
Yeah, it looks like with the Aftershock as well as the Berserker's Rage and Whirling Blades, it was enough to really do the damage, even with the Treants being there.
Anyway, so as Yaz was saying, I think this is what we saw yesterday from Tuho as well. The aggressive dual lane, the same heroes even, and they both have decent escape. I will say, yeah, Sand King has to be a little bit careful here, and there's the Burrow Strike, though. He's fine. Too much,
yeah, he just need to watch out for those Spark Wraiths, but on the whole, he should be, you know, pretty healthy coming into the fights and being able to engage, even 3 versus 2. You know, it's not the worst lineup in the world.
Yeah. Arc Warden, when it comes to a Trillian setup, you mentioning those Spark Wraiths, I mean, that is a fair amount of damage that comes out from those, and even the Flux itself can potentially be a really good tool. Obviously, when you have the Lift of Rubik, you know, set them kind of isolate them to maximize the potential of the Flux there. So there is definitely, again, a chance for a kill coming out, but they're not going to get that there. Middle lane Visage is going to be roamed on. The spin comes out. Nyx is here, but he can't stop the spin, obviously, but it's not going to be enough damage from Quakefa, so the Impale will come out in return, and now Quakefa is going to take a fair amount of damage. before walking back. He doesn't currently have any more regen on him. I'm guessing a salve perhaps, or something along those lines. Yeah, a couple of salves even are going to be coming out for him. How is he doing middle? It's 12-5 Visage versus a 10-2 Juggernaut. So far, it's a slight advantage for Visage, which, again, on paper, it seems like that's probably what you'd expect.
Yeah, and like I say, Kofka now, he's got the healing ward. He's going to be able to have a decent amount of maintenance in this lane, and it's all about really not losing the lane so you can be effective in the team fight. Towards Mastermind, he wants the Juggernaut to start roaming as soon as possible. You know, he wants to start putting pressure on the tier 1 towers.
Top lane, they run down the Nature's Prophet. I'm surprised that was enough to actually get the kill, but Garter switches to the range and eventually does the damage. Now Nature's Prophet trying to be useful after death right here with the Treants, but oh, he is teleporting in, but Garter going the other direction, pops a salve. Even now he's trying to teleport over here, but it's not going to be enough. Yeah, good job by Garter, kind of juking and jiving right there, and ultimately staying plenty alive. So this top lane's going pretty well. I mean, they already got 2 deaths onto the Treant. They got the 2 kills, but at the same time, they only have 11 creep kills on Troll Warlord. So I guess that's where Nature's Prophet is kind of accomplishing something up here, preventing effective CS.
And he'll be able to put the harass on Demon like we've seen. Then he sneaks himself behind. He can effectively jungle within, you know, keep dipping himself in and out of the lane as well. So, whereas the Nature's Prophet, yeah, okay, he's died twice, but he's not really, like you say, he's not fallen behind. He is going to be able to sustain and maintain on this lane.
Sand King's going to find Rubik, gets in a TP out. That was just the regen rune picked up in front and battling for the rune control. Not the biggest steal in the world. As Rubik makes his way back and going to buy that smoke, so we'll see if that comes into play here soon. But right now, Koikva, again, versus Mastermind here on the Visage, and Visage continues to have the slight advantage, both in experience and that creep farm. But here comes a rotation in Invis Shadow Shaman with that smoke. He doesn't have his Hex, though. He does have Shackles. Need to try to run in here. Can he catch Mastermind? Mastermind's playing a very good position, but actually Sand King's coming from the other angle, so they're going to go here. This should be a kill. He just summoned his familiars as well. That's huge, actually. Oh, nice stun, but it's not going to be enough. He stops the Shackles immediately, but it still wasn't enough. Now, they're not going to kill the familiar, so not going to be a big deal there. But Koikva's actually in a lot of trouble now. He's going to be lifted up, and he too will die. So it ends up being the 1-for-1. Visage doing work after death, similar to the Nature's Prophet was trying to be earlier.
Yeah, and a lot of people say that the Visage, it's actually a bit of a facade. You know, the heroes are the familiars, not the actual hero itself. So the hero's just a little bit of a bonus.
Well, those familiars are the ones that definitely did plenty of work in that exchange there, again, stunning the Rasta as soon as the Shackles came out. So that was a little bit of the concern, too, not having Hex even in his early build. But, of course, he is choosing to level up that Ether Shock and wants the nuke damage from it. I assume he's going to get level 4 ability into Hex here, though. He still hasn't yet, holding on to the point. But Garter dying in return, I mean, it's still, or not Garter, Koikva dying in return. I still figure that that's worth it there for the Juggernaut, though, to make that kill happen. Did cause a lot of rotation, to be fair.
Yeah, and like I say, you want to be shutting down this Juggernaut. You don't really want him getting powerful, but so you need to be obviously rotating in anytime there's a gank like this one going on in the mid lane. The Burst Strike comes through, and Koikva goes for the Omni Slash as well. Looks like the spin comes out, and Mastermind going to be chased down, and it's effectively the TPs that are a bit too late from Mikey. Koikva might actually be taken down if he's not careful.
He's got the salve, though. Demon, however, speaking of those familiars, it's the same thing. This time not as on high value of a target, but they do get a turn kill despite the Visage death as they take out Roster right there. And again, he's doing a fantastic job of stopping the channel of the Shackles immediately. Bottom lane, though, now there's a Arc Warden in plenty of trouble. The Dream Coil locking him down, and Sania comes in with a Burrow Strike, and Mickey finishes him off with plenty of nuke damage with the Orb and the Waning Rift. So nice dive right there. We have a 5-2 start right now in favor of Team Tuho. So that's another very big kill, of course. As well, to be fair, Arc Warden, holy crap, he is struggling at that bottom lane. Look at that, 16-1 compared to 43-12 Puck. What is going on?
It's just the advantage of a dual lane. Solo lane, obviously, your 2 supports are going to be zoning, but when you're constantly rotating the Sand King in and out to mid, you know, pulling those supports off the lane, you're going to be able to put pressure on the Arc Warden with the perk, but it means once the rotations from the Sand King come back in, you know, the supports have already TP'd elsewhere. They can't TP back to that lane to offer safety for the Arc Warden, so it does put him in a lot of danger if he's not being babysat.
Man, that is quite the gap right there. I understand the advantage, but you need to do something about this if you're the Radiant side. This is just unacceptable. You can't have an Arc Warden this completely underfarmed this early on in the game. Quick, by the way, middle lane. He is going to be able to TP out. I guess he got lifted up there perhaps, but no, I don't even think he got lifted. He was just up there, but he TP's out, and he's going to survive. But yeah, if this Radiant team wants a good shot in this game, they need to somehow get farm an Arc Warden. Okay, I was going to say maybe some kind of rotation, and sure enough, they are going to send him to the middle lane now. But is this even necessarily going to do much? Because if you're Tuho and you see this, they're probably just going to rotate on him, and you look at the line being drawn already. They're
yeah,
gone.
I mean, effectively, they've already done it against the Visage, what, twice, 3 times now, and he's 2 levels higher, so it just puts the Arc Warden in a bit more of a precarious position. It does need to be, I think, babysat. The Burrow Strike comes in once again. Qualifier does have the Omni Slash, so it comes out and finishes the job.
It's like clockwork right there, not the hero, just the idea. And as Mickey, he is going to be fine. The Nature's Wrath, not enough damage, and they'll pop the Shrine to heal on up. So, yeah, exactly on cue. They see the rotation as we were talking about, and they go over just like they're doing with the Visage. They're like, oh, even an easier target. Thank you very much. I'll get the kill.
Yeah, and they've got this ward on the right-hand side, but it's too late by the time Sanking. By the time the Sanking gets to there, the Burrow Strike's already going to be able to come in. They need it up near the Shrine. They need it around there where the Sanking's rotated 2, 3, 4 times already. They know it's going to come from there, but this ward, it doesn't do enough coverage to be able to effectively protect the mid lane.
Yeah. Did not have that reaction. Mambo's here on Arc Warden. This time, I guess they're just going to now change it up where they'll sit Nyx next to him. So if they happen to go again, he's there with an Impel, at least ideally there to help. They can, but as we see on the mini-map, that's not necessarily the case. Instead, they're kind of grouped up more so up top here. And Sanio's trying to now work towards that Blink Dagger instead, and also assisting with the stack for Troll Warlord to do. By the way, Troll, he's going Mask of Madness here, and he almost has it finished. Just needs the Quarterstaff. A couple more creep kills. And he'll have that picked up, and that means most likely objectives are going to start happening here.
Yeah, and it's great lane management coming out as well from the side of Tuho, because not only are they keeping the lanes busy on the side of the Radiant, they're making sure that Garden's getting all this space. It means that the Radiant can't gank the Troll Warlord because they're too busy protecting the mid lane as well as the safe lane.
Top lane, the wards are down, obviously doing plenty of damage to the tower. Not going to be a kill, but Demon throwing those out to at least do as much as possible. You want to be careful not to put it in deny range either. And yeah, it's not going to be the case. Up here, they're chasing out. Oh, that is Demon. Actually, Nick's profit porting in. He might end up dying right here. TP? No, that's not going to happen. Yeah, he will be found and killed. So, again, just a support, though. Meanwhile, middle tower being pressured as that was... Wait, they got the bottom tower. Okay, yeah. God, they were pushing all 3 towers essentially right there. Epicenter on top of Arc Warden is not going to be enough damage. Not sure what that was about from Insania, so he underestimated his damage, perhaps. Overestimated even. And now Juggernaut, Nature's Wrath, comes out. Not enough damage to kill him, though, either. So, a little sloppiness of sorts on both sides, even. But in the end, it's a tower push bottom, and they'll tower push middle lane. He couldn't deny it right there. And actually, Nyx might be dead now, too. Yeah, he's dead. Oh, is Mickey dead? He's dead too. Nice play by Visage.
And again, while all that's going on, the Nature's Prophet going top to try and siege down the top lane. You've got Garter on the bottom, taking down a tier 2 tower. They're just pulling this focus from the Troll Warlord, doing this really, really well, and keeping the Radiant distracted, which means the Troll Warlord's basically got a free map. He's saying, right, I'm going to go here, causes distraction here, causes distraction here, and I wouldn't be surprised within the next minute to 2 that he goes for Roshan, and you see the rest of the Dire pushing either the bottom lane in or putting pressure on the mid lane or trying to take a fight in that Radiant jungle.
Yeah. Wards are back up in 10 seconds as well from Shadow Shaman, so I'm sure Demon's going to be looking to use those, and Demon could be in some trouble now. As Visage roaming in with those familiars. I think they saw him, but they actually choose not to put a chase on. They wanted Garter, but Garter's already retreating too. So they're not going to get anything in the end. But yeah, we'll see if they make their way over to Roshan or not. Currently into the jungle is Garter, and perhaps wants to even finish something like the Yasha before. Top lane, they're pinging it out. They know Rubik's up here somewhere.
The seeds of fortune.
See if they can manage to find him. Puck here has his own blink coming along, so him and Sand King, it's going to be pretty nice timing. So hell, I wouldn't be surprised if Frost even goes for one eventually. But his will be a little bit later on here. Hand of Mine is finally finishing Arc Warden. That's a start. Start to come back.
Yeah, I mean, if they can stretch the game out long enough, you know, it's going to be an effective item. But it's whether the top lane, they're going to go on the Rubik. It's going to be the hook as well as the Sanking, once again rotating through the lanes to take him down. But yeah, going back to that previous point, if they can stretch the game long enough, the Hand of Mine will pay off. It's whether the Dire now are going to let that go, because it's 13 minutes in, 14 minutes in, and they've already taken all of the tier 1 towers. They want to be taking this map control right now and really choking off the rotations as well as the split push coming out on the side of the Radiant.
I mean, Nature's Prophet is going to port to the middle lane. They want this kill on Shadow Shaman. They'll get it. It's another case, though, again, they kill Shadow Shaman, but that's not really the key target for them to be taken out. They're also going to kill Sankin, that's better. But the Dream Coil in response takes on Nature's Prophet. Mickey trying to kite them away. Koikva, he does have Omni Slash up. There's a lift on him. Mickey, phase shift. He'll barely survive, but not enough, though. And he will explode, too. So Mickey perhaps going a little too cocky there, right there. And he ends up dying as a result. So that's something you can't be doing if you're Team Tuho here, is making more space for this Arc Warden, especially to allow him to constantly recover more and more. We mentioned the Hand of Midas pickup, and he's just going to start going up the net worth chart the more you allow him to farm like this. So got to calm it down if you're Team Tuho a little bit, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, the Troll did rotate over for a gank on the Arc Warden, but because of the Tempest double being just on time coming out there, it looks like the Arc Warden with those Spark Wraiths did just enough damage to force the Troll Warlord to TP himself away.
So I know I mentioned this yesterday with the Visage that we saw, the idea of the level 10 talent, 30% XP gain. So Mastermind does go that route, and I mean, you look at what it's doing here. He's already level 13 and a half, almost 14 here. By far the highest level of the game, and he's going to assist for killing a Sanking middle lane. No, it's not enough. Mickey comes in with a response again, and this time they take out Nyx and they retreat. Demon is here, does have the Serpent Wards. If they find it necessary, the Spark Wraith, he wants to make sure to avoid that as a Tempest double. Just going to flux him up and put another one down even, so Demon will have to tank through that, but that time it ended up working out for Tuho, the 1-for-0 exchange. But yeah, this Visage, I mean, oh, it was level 14 here. He's got the levels, so that's nice news for the Radiant side, I guess. What they have going here.
Yeah, and he is going for the hood as well. It looks like he's going to go for the full pipe, so that's going to be great during the team fights, especially against the Puck, the Sand King, the Raster as well. So Mastermind, obviously leading the charge level 14, like you say, and it looks like that maybe shift in focus. Maybe it's time for Dire now to start grouping up as 5, you know, trying to force these fights out before the Visage can get too far ahead.
Well, I like your idea earlier of perhaps doing Roshan, because again, when it comes to objectives, especially like a Roshan, it's something that Tuho, they're very good at doing with this makeup here, but they're going to insist on continuing to push this bottom lane a little bit. And also something I'm noticing, we've yet to really see the Troll and the Juggernaut be together. They're both farming different sides of the map, which obviously is fine, but you know, it feels like that there's going to become a point where they're just inevitably having to do that. And again, the longer they take to get objectives here, especially like the tier 2, if not Roshan itself, then that's just the better for the Radiant side. And it's also going to allow for opportunity like this of the smoke gank from the Radiant team. Demon will just put the wards down, though, and look to retreat. So they might actually kill Rasta yet again. But their bottom tier 2 is going to take plenty of damage. So they are going to fight Demon, though. There's the Impel. Here come the Familiars. Stuns on top, and then Mastermind will help here to finish the job, maybe. Oh, can he TP out? That would have been pretty clutch right there. But so he's kind of being the sacrificial lamb. I mean, that's his 4th death of the game, but it's just him, to be fair. Just Demon. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's just Demon. You know, this is what he does. He creates space. But I'm surprised there wasn't a rotation as soon as that gank started to come. I'm surprised there wasn't a rotation to the Roshan pit or something like that. The Troll just moved back into the jungle. Maybe just trying to get a bit more farm, tank up a little bit more before he moves into the Roshan.
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels weird with Team Tuho with what they're trying to accomplish right here. Right? Like I know it's still pretty early on in the game at 17.5 minutes, but do they really feel like that farm game is something that they're going to truly win. I mean, Juggernaut and Troll are both definitely great mid to late game carries, but I think Arc Warden is up there on that list as far as one of the scariest to play against. And I know that's still a ways off before he gets to that mark, but again, if you give him an opening with his Tempest Double spamming that Hand of Midas, in 15 minutes, I mean, this is going to be a ridiculously farmed hero and very annoying to stop. So, Tuho's basically playing, they're playing the way the split farm game between Juggernaut and Troll, which is a strategy. I just don't know if it's the right strategy, I guess, as I'm getting at. So,
yeah, I know what you mean. Like, I think if you give too much time to that one, like you say, he does get extremely scary. I think the Dire do need to end this by about 35-40 minutes. After that, I think the Nature's Prophet for starters, you just get too powerful, the Arc Warden as well. So they do need to start objective gaming, like you say, looking for the 5-man push and really trying to bring it to the Radiant now before they can even do things like this. This tier 1 tower is going to go down. It's probably now the Roshan Pit's moved the least important tier 1 tower in the game, but it's still going down. It's still an objective you're giving away for free.
Not necessarily for free, to be fair, because they do get tier 2 bottom, and now they are doing Roshan. So this is more like it from the Dire side. They are going to be spotted here, and Radiant's like, all right, well, let's just go for tier 2 bottom. But Roshan, okay, Qualifiers here now too, so it is going to go down. Who do they give it to? They're going to give it to Troll here, okay. Do they defend bottom tier 2? It looks like they want to. TPs are coming in. And the Radiant side, they're thinking about falling back, perhaps. A silence onto Visage off the bat, off to the side. Demon gets caught out. And Mickey, now he's trying to survive. He pops a phase shift to dodge the Soul Assumption right there. And Zane comes in with the epicenter, though. Mikey's going to go for the TP to spin on top for Quakefa. He decides to fall back. Where's Troll during all this? He picked off Demon as well. And Troll, he was running over, but that seemed odd.
He swapped his TP out and just didn't swap it back. Just tried to make his way over before his team died. And this is something that you can't do, especially when you have the lead or the perceived leaders going in one by one in fights like that, especially when the other team's grouped up. I know it sounds like basic stuff, but teams, they kind of get in this mindset of, well, we can chase them down, we can pick them off, you know, and they get surprised then when the enemy team turns back around and takes a fight.
And Arc Warden, especially with that Tempest Double, even though he doesn't have the most farm right now, I mean, it still does plenty of damage in these fights, and essentially for free, and just other than the cooldown, obviously. So, yeah, it's not like you're just going to be dominating this team because it's just an under-farmed Arc Warden necessarily. Yeah, Team Tuho, that definitely bit them in the ass right there with kind of that going in one-by-one strategy. And if anything, you can argue that there's a slight lead now for the Radiant side here. And this was the worry all along, is that they're maybe giving them just a little bit too much time to find their groove. Because we keep talking about Arc Warden, but you're right. I know you've mentioned Nature's Prophet. I mean, he just finished his Orchid, actually. I believe that's coming out right now. And that's another huge item to have. The pipe is finished on Visage, and with an AC queued up, I mean, he's actually got great progress towards that. This is going to become a team as a whole that's going to be very difficult to kill, let alone stop with their split push presence here already.
Yeah, and they all have at least one skill that's going to disrupt the creeps in the lane as well. You've got the Impale that can come out, you can, you know, end the line, disrupt the entire creep line. You've got the Arc Warden now that's got the Maelstrom. Going to be able to clean up waves in a matter of seconds, especially with the Tempest Double. Rubik, it is a bit too much, I think, and they need to end the game pretty soon.
Well, that'll help right there. They take out Visage pretty quickly. Mikey's going to go for the TP out with the trees. The Omniscience bouncing around. It's not enough for the kill, though. He does TP out successfully. The stun from Insania will miss right there. Bashark on Nyx Assassin able to Vendetta on out, so he survives and only ends up being the one kill on Visage, albeit a pretty big one to be fair. Nice streak stopper there, and Carter, 555 bonus gold, so this is a chance now, an opening even for Team Tuho to push the tier 2 tower middle lane, as they're going to do right here, so that was more like when it came to the fight, and they still have the Aegis for Troll, and he did use that BKB in that fight, which he just got actually, so obviously a pretty key item there to be picking up. And they'll push tier 2 mid. So this is going to be a back and forth game as we're seeing here. I mean, this is definitely no side's going to keep a lead in this one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a lot more back and forth than the games we saw yesterday. I like the wards being dropped on the tier 2 tower as well. It showed a clear goal of this is what we want to take, and we're not going to go any further than that. you know, you do see teams when they've got even just a one hero lead advantage, they start to overextend. They think we can take or do some damage to the tier 3, we can do this, we can do that. And with the Rubik especially being able to lift them up onto the high ground if they come out a bit too far, you know, that's when you see teams start to maybe throw away 1 kill, throw away 2 kills and get chased out. But like I say, with those wards on the T2 tower, they showed this is where we're going to go. We're going to take these, you know, and then we're going to back away. We're going to, you know, do a bit more farming, but we know we don't want to be putting ourselves at risk any longer than we need to be.
Was Juggernaut, what did Juggernaut get here? Let's Diffusal. Oh, he goes Maelstrom, actually. So I was wondering about that. You know, the typical follow-up, of course, is the Diffusal to go along with the Manta style. He decides to go Maelstrom, though. Interesting. But at the same time, I guess the logic, of course, is with all the minions. You got both the familiars, but especially the treants here of Nature's Prophet. They want a way to kind of clear those out, as Puck does right there on the top lane. So does make sense, actually. You look at it from that perspective of the Maelstrom here. And Troll is going to be finishing a Shadow Blade. No, that's actually Nature's Prophet. What is Troll going for? Troll is going for a Diffusal himself. Okay.
Yeah, it's a good item with the chase down, obviously with the the Mask of Madness, sorry, as well as the Asher. You've got the bonus movement speed there. Your attack speed as well. If you pop Battle Trance before your Mask of Madness, you should be able to chase down a hero that's trying to get away from you. And effectively, the right click is from Troll is just going to be super powerful. Going up against, like I say, you go up against the Arc Ward and you should be able to right click him down and then maybe run yourself away from the Tempest double. It's going to be great for pushing towers. With the BKB as well, you are going to be able to do a lot in the team fights.
I will say these supports for the Radiant side are really underfarmed, especially the Nyx Assassin. Oh my god, all he has is Arcane Boots on him. He's about to finish the Force Staff. I think he actually just finished it, so to be fair, he does have that now as well, even though it's not on him. But just looks pretty naked for 25 minutes into this game. But they do have essentially a 3-core lineup, of course. That's getting most of the farm, so does make sense there. Yeah, what about the Silver Edge, though? Because that's what I thought I saw Shadow Blade queued up, but it wasn't. So, but I'm thinking now, either Juggernaut or Troll could both go the Shadow Blade into the Silver Edge here to help deal with the Visage, especially. And we mentioned that yesterday with the break effect on the Gravekeeper's Cloak. Should that be a higher priority, you think?
I think it's an item you can look at, definitely. It breaks the null field as well onto the Rubiks, so you do have a couple of targets you can use it on, and that's really powerful because it gets rid of a 22% magic resist shield. Effectively makes your spells, so that much stronger when you're trying to engage. So yeah, it's definitely an item that they should be considering. Maybe the Troll goes for it after the Diffusal Blade, again as an extra bit of chase, because it is an item that the Troll usually likes to go for.
Oh, he's sitting on that Diffusal. Wait, did he? Okay, he did finish the SNY. I was like, where did his little skulls go? He did choose to finish the Saint Inyasha. They're going to smoke up here. They are. They were not seen from what I can tell, and they're heading into the Radiant jungle. But the unfortunate thing is that the only target nearby is that Nyx Assassin, which, again, it's one of those cases of like, well, they'll kill Nyx, but is that really the best case? So this is smoking. They do kill Nyx. It's going to transition into a bottom tier 2. So there is that positive. Now, do they push in? They probably want to. And they probably can, to be honest. They can at least pressure it enough to get a response here. Out of the Radiant side of wards. There we go.
With Battle Trance to the wards, he just half gone within a second. You know, I'm surprised that the Nature's Prophet hasn't TP'd back, but it looks like he's thinking, well, we're going to get as much of a trade as possible. You know, take the tier 2 tower top, maybe even push, try and do a bit of damage on the tier 3 as well.
So I was going to say, too, I mean, he can TP in, obviously, on Q, and he is starting to right there, but he realized that they're falling back, and what's the point now? So Mikey himself on the Nature's Prophet will just retreat and go into the jungle, keep the pressure up here. Mick is going to be nearby, though, so I have a feeling he's going to kind of, he's going to play the waiting game. He's also trying to find him, if anything, but as we see, that's not going to be the case. Nature's Prophet is currently taking over their jungle with his own Shadow Blade finish. Oh, they're pinging him out now, but no, he's not going to be able to catch up to him. Has that Shadow Blade, and he'll get away. And Sania's sitting comfortably at the bottom lane. But now that we're, we've really reached that mid-game stage, I think it's fair to say, of course, this Radiant side especially with the Visage and Nature's Prophet, the starts that they have, but now you have Arc Warden with the full Mjolnir finish and the bots. Look at this, is going to be a kill onto Sand King bottom lane, yeah, easy one, as NP ports in. It's going to be ridiculous, the potential, at least on paper, that this Radiant side has for just split pushing the lanes, and it's going to become a chaotic game for Team Tuho quickly here, as far as having to constantly respond to it.
Oh yeah, they need to find the pickups on at least the familiars, the Visage, and then look for anything they can push in. But they do need to be quick on those TPs because, like we saw with Mikey, if you give him 10 seconds, 15 seconds unoccupied on a lane, he is going to be able to take a tower and do a lot of damage.
Here we go, bottom tier 3. In favor of the Radiant side, they're pushing it in, more trees spawned. Epicenter is ready to go for Sand King. It's still only level 1, but nonetheless, Visage caught out actually by the Burrows right there. Going to go on this spin on top. The Bash Proc coming out as well. They get force staffed away. You got Puck throwing out the ultimate of Pits, locking down a couple more. They will finish out the Visage of the Omni Slash of Juggernaut right there. In the back lines, the stun onto Troll War. The Epicenter finally goes off from Insania. Only loses Demon, it looks like. They also got Arc Warden, and the Nyx Assassin officially did get finished off too. So that was a great fight, and Visage a little too far up right there. A couple of bash procs from the Troll eventually lead to his death as they were trying to retreat from it. So ultimately, it definitely is a hold there for the Dire side, and they lose tier 3, but now they're going to try to capitalize once again by pushing out immediately. In fact, Koikva, geez, almost caught up to the Rubik here.
Yeah, it was a great 4-man dream call coming up from the Puck. I think that's what really secured that fight then, because it only gave the Radiant a limited area in which they could move through, and already the Dire were descending up out from, after picking up on that Visage, they knew where to be going, they had the coordination in, and they just kind of divided and conquered, forced the Nyx Assassin back, they kept 4 in the pocket, and really just surrounded them and took them down one by one. It was a great fight.
This is going to be a 4 Blink Dagger team, potentially a 5 Blink Dagger team if Shadow Shaman again still goes for it, because even Troll Warlord has his Blink Dagger queued up. They really want to take advantage of the jump potential, being able to get on said target. I know, Arc Warden can be a little bit slippery, Visage as well, so being able to get on them in the back lines is what they're going for. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that is a slight weakness of this Radiant lineup, is they don't have that obvious frontliner. I guess other than the Tempest double of Arc Warden, but they don't have, that big, beefy target that they can just put in the front to allow for initiations to happen on and kind of respond to it, so.
Yeah, and I think that's where the Tickler control, they've got obviously the Rubik, the Familiars as well, the Nature's Prophet, so they've tried to out-control the Dire instead of, responding to effectively what would be one hero, a Tidehunter maybe, or something like that, sitting on the front lines. But it's not really worked out for them. They've not controlled the fights. It's always been an even trade, which is always going to be better for the team fighty lineup, like the side of the Dire, because the more split push heroes they lose, the less effective they are going to be in that downtime between fights.
Oh, nice find there on a Nyx Assassin. That was just a dust. I thought they might have had a gem for a second, but just simply dust to spawn him out, and they get the kill. No gem in this game in general. This is starting to get to that point where gem could become a valuable tool for either side, of course, in general for map control, but I think even more so for the Dire team. You're dealing with a Nyx, you're dealing with a Shadowblade at least on the Nature's Prophet so far. Arc Warden's definitely a hero that can get it as well, so yeah, a great item for this Team Tuho. They want to invest the gold into it. Taking it up here, but going to continue to try to find that pick off. Top lane, they might find it. Yep, Nature's Prophet, that should be a kill. Shackles comes out and guarantees it, so nice movement here from Team Tuho, as that's exactly what they need to do now as we've entered the stage of the split push from the Radiant side.
Yeah, it was great. The TP's coming out straight after as well, so again, they knew what they wanted. They instantly backed out, didn't put themselves in an unnecessary risk as well, which means for the next 30 seconds, they have the advantage. They can try and force a buyback from the Nature's Prophet, which is something, obviously, no team wants to lose. So they do have the Aegis going on as well on the Troll Warlord, so they could potentially try and force something onto the T3 towers now.
What do you think about Arc Warden prioritizing a... First off, the fact that he went Dragonlance I find a little curious. Obviously, I'm sure just wants that extra attack range here, but more so the BKB pickup. Is BKB a necessary item, we think, for Arc Warden in this game? Or would, like, for me personally, maybe even something like the Silver Edge himself, the Shadowblade and the Silver Edge, arguably could have been better. Hell, even a Butterfly, but...
Yeah, I would have liked to see the Butterfly, but I think he's so far ahead at the moment. He just needs to go for anything that's going to be a decent protect item. Obviously, BKB is going to be able to block out quite a lot, pretty much all of the Rasta.
That was awkward right there. Sand King went in, they got force staffed away, and he basically goes into nothing. Carter also going to get picked off. That means the Aegis, the Dream Coil hits. Do they really want to respond to this? The trees go up, and Troll's in trouble. He's going to melt right here. Overcommitment from Team Tuho. They lose 2. Troll does have a buyback if necessary. As Mickey, he'll need to be careful now. He's not going to be able to kill the Shrine himself, so he needs to, yeah, he probably needs to get out of there as they're clearly coming out. So, I mean, again, they got tier 3, so it was a little bit of a sacrifice. Felt somewhat unneeded, especially more so for the Troll. But nice
Yeah,
catch.
definitely. I was surprised that he used his BKB prior to the Aegis popping. I thought he maybe saves that because he was in a bit of an odd position. You know, saves it, waits till it. He comes back up, pops his BKB and TP's out, but he just didn't really give himself a chance, especially with Mickey being able to trap him with the Sprout. There's nothing he could really do. And now it's a big Treant army pushing up there as well. You've got the Tempest Double coming back up. You've got the Familiars that can be resummoned as well. I'm surprised he's actually gone for, you know, the Shiva's Guard before the Aghanim Scepter. I think that third Familiar, it just splits another 2/3 of your split push power, so...
If they kill him. Oh man, they killed Arc Warden. That was a big jump right there. Comes to the cost of Sand King, but definitely still worth it. Hiding in that bubble though is Vicious, dealing plenty of damage. Soul Deception nuke. It is that double strike now with the level 20 talent. Goes on a couple of heroes. Trolls up in 2 seconds though. Koikful will barely live as he goes back to the shrine. And Mickey now looking to find him once again. No Dream Coil of course, but probably not even necessary. The blink in from Koikful right there. The stuns from the Familiars, but he's going to spit on out. Now here comes Carter. Can he get a bash proc? The Impale will slow down Carter a little bit. And there's a Grave Chill as well, but they purge him up with that Diffusal Blade. And here come the bashes now with the Battle Trance, and down goes Visage. He's dead for 80 plus seconds. They're going to kind of find the Nyx Assassin. Do they have vision though? I don't. Oh, they do. Yeah, they have a gem on Puck, so they are going to see him here and eventually chase him down to complete the near wipeout in favor of the Dire side. That all started with the jump onto Arc Warden, and it was just enough damage to eventually get in. The bubble almost caused issue in return, but Team Tuho, they're definitely winning these fights pretty impressively as far as the holds go. I'll give them that.
Yeah, mid lane, it looks like the Arc Warden is going to lose at least his double in the mid lane. He was able to get himself away, but that double trying to push out the Sand King instantly with the Burrow Strike just to disrupt the push, and now with the Sandstorm, is going to be able to create a push of himself. One thing to note during that push onto the Dire base, that the Nature's Prophet TP'd or just moved himself down to the bottom lane as well, and got the range barracks pretty darn low.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You could have, you know, done without losing the 3-4 heroes, but being able to nearly finish off at least one Rax, it's not the worst thing in the world when the Nature's Prophet, if he'd have joined in the team fight, probably would have gone down himself as well.
That's what Nature's Prophet's so good at, though. That's where he's so scary in this mid to late game now, is the idea that you think you're winning a fight. And yeah, I did not even notice that, so glad you pointed that out, because I doubt Tuho was even necessarily noticing that, or at least in full, that all of a sudden Nature's Prophet is pushing a Raxa there. So they did protect it enough to keep it alive, of course, but that you really do have to look out for that and be careful. Getting a couple of hero kills feels good, but if it means at the cost of your melee Rax and backdoor, maybe it's not worth it in the end. So they definitely have to pay attention to that. Abyssal Blade is going to be finished on Koikfa, though, so he really is farmed now, man. 21,000 net worth. This is a juggernaut here. In a game with a Troll, an Arc Warden, a Visage, a Nature's Prophet, like, I don't know if I would expect Juggernaut to necessarily be on top of the network chart, but he is managing that and doing and that's looking very good for Team Tuho when it comes to his items. Arc Warden is still trying to just finish the BKB. He almost has it, though, at least.
Speaking of BKBs, Visage was farming into the Radiant Jungle, just farming this camp over here, and I'm not sure what his hotkey setup was like, but he fat-fingered his BKB, and that was his 9-second BKB. Wasn't seen by the Dire, but that's going to be down now for the next 30 seconds, so hopefully, you know, at least for Mastermind, the Dire take the time pushing in, you know, and there's no engagement for the next 25 seconds.
Arc Warden picking up his. You made a good point earlier as that fight was breaking out, though, to get back on that real quickly, is Visage with the not going the Ags. I am a little confused by that, because especially with this strategy of the split push idea of, you know, trying to, if anything, kind of backdoor towers or lanes, and he could really be using those familiars for that idea. And the fact that he's almost level 25, and I don't know what he's going to get. I mean, both I could see him getting, but the 120 familiar movement speed, it really sets you up for making those familiars, you know, kind of their own hero in a lot of ways. So, yeah, his decision to not go that route is a little bit of a head scratcher for me. But I mean, he's not going for it at all. He's got a scythe now queued out.
I mean, looking at it, I can kind of see why. You've already got the split push from the Nature's Prophet. You know, it's not Mastermind's job to be this primary split pusher. So he's going for more the utility build hero, with the pipe, getting the Solar Crest as well as the Shiva's Guard. So he wants to be able to, like say, be utilized in these fights. You know, it's not just being picked up because, oh, he's got the familiars, he can get an Argasm Scepter and take down towers. He can be in the middle of these fights with the pipe popped, with the Gravekeeper's Cloak, and he's effectively going to be really sustainable. So you're talking about needing that frontliner in the fights. Well, Visage is going to be able to fill that, not as effectively as if you had, like, say, a Bristleback, Tidehunter hero like that, but he is going to be able to sit in and around those fights and dish out the extra slows with his Shiva's Guard, when he picks up the Sheep Stick as well. The Solar Crest, being able to throw out those mischances, the extra armor, or the minus armor as well. So it is more of a utility role that this Visage has been picked up for.
You see the range tracks does go down. Nature's Prophet goes in with the Arc Warden Tempest double, and it's being able to do that with essentially no downside if you're this Radiant team. It's just why this is, again, going to be a difficult game for Tuho to truly try to finish out here. Again, on paper, a 5,000 net worth lead. They have the 2 top farmers in the game with their cores, but when you really look at the big picture, this game could easily still go either way. You know, pending a distraction, you think you win a fight, all of a sudden your base is just being wrecked because of the Treant, as well as the Treants, that is, as well as even the Arc Warden Tempest double once again. So, now again, I will say to Arc Warden, he is not the greatest build right now for sieging towers. This kind of goes back to the idea that he went to BKB as well over something like that Butterfly. It does mean that, yes, he'll be a little more sturdy in team fights, but when it comes to using the Tempest double like he's trying to now and maybe push out lanes, let alone towers, it's not going to be nearly as strong for doing so. So that is a little bit of a weakness there for the Radiant side. Oh, we're fighting around Roshan now, aren't we? Nyx Assassin's going to be jumped first with the BKB pop by Garter. He's going balls to the wall, baby. The rolling axe is flying around. They're locking out Visage, and Visage is going to be nuked down. He's dead for 90 seconds. Buyback ready to go. Arc Warden, he has Troll just sitting on top of him. Meanwhile, the backlines, Omnislash bouncing around, kills Nature's Prophet as well as the Nyx. They take out Arc Warden. It's a complete massacre in favor of the Dire side. In fact, Nature's Prophet, he buys back. What is the game plan here? I mean, he's going to teleport somewhere to the top lane, it looks like, so he's going to try to split push with this buyback, but okay, there's Arc Warden now, and I'm guessing Visage, yeah, will also buy back. So they want to defend this here, but they're going to at least lose tier 3 mid. Maybe not, actually. The invulnerability and all those, that was 3 buybacks on all 3 of their cores. Yeah, you're fine if you're Team Tuho to retreat here.
Yeah, you can pull it back. Visage doesn't have his birds now for the next minute or so. They're going to be able to go back to Roshan and basically do it uncontested. And I think as soon as this Nature's Prophet buys back, you know effectively the split push is going to be on. Mambos TPs himself, or TPs his Tempest double up to the top now as well. And that's something that this Arc Warden can do really well with having the Thor's Hammer, is just split this wave, you know, cut the creep wave as well, so it slows the pushes coming in from the side of the Dire as well. Means Nature's Prophet can pick up another lane, and it just adds a little bit more security. But as far as the buybacks go, now that the Roshan is down, I'd like to see Tuho take a fight, and really, even if the Nature's Prophet is split pushing, I'd like to see them maybe force a bit of dominance out in this match and say, well, you can try and take the base, but we're just going to go as 5, and we're going to try and base race you. You know, because 1 hero against 5, or even 3 or 4, depending on how the fight turns out, it's going to be, you know, the 3 or 4 are always going to win, even over the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about you. I mean, maybe this is a hindsight thing to say, but kind of looking back at that Roshan area fight, I think that's a fault to the Radiant team. They really should not even be caring about Roshan. They're not going to steal Roshan, honestly, and that's not the way you're going to win this game anyways. Even if they have the Aegis on the Dire side, you can still win this by the whole split push idea. So the fact they were even there in the first place, maybe trying to somewhat stop it was, you could argue, pretty silly. And it does backfire. They lose as much as they did. They, again, use the 3 buybacks. That's going to be down for now 6 minutes or so for old Arc Warden, Aegis Prophet, and Visage. And now you do have the Aegis anyways currently on Juggernaut. You have the Cheese on Troll Warlord. Juggernaut just 3-shot Rubik, by the way, at the top lane. That's just how strong he is now. So Team Tuho, no doubt, having their biggest lead of the game, and finally are in a spot of, okay, they can feel a little more comfortable about winning this game. But not really, because, again, the split push is still a reality. Most certainly, as you're getting at going back to this Radiant side here. We are seeing level 25s, though. Might as well get at those real quickly. 20 agility for Juggernaut. We have Troll picking up 20 magic resistance over the whirling axis cooldown. Interesting there. And then Visage going the familiar speed, sure enough. Even despite not getting the axe, he still goes the familiar speed here. Interesting. Puck's going to be fine bottom lane. That's a dream call, but they're going to TP out there in time. Yeah. Oh, they catch Visage, though. This is a tieback.
That could be game. Down for effectively 2 minutes, chasing in. It's not going to be great for the Radiant side now.
That might be it. Team Tuho looking to go balls to the wall big time here now. Finish this game in full. The Omni Slash into the fountain here from Carter. Oh, no. Oh, they drew him in because of the Omni Slash. Now that is going to be an Aegis use, so that's why he's a little more comfortable to do so. But they're going to trap him in. Nope, he blinks away in time. They do lose Sand King in the back lines, and they've only got a ranged or a melee rack out of this so far. But you do see the middle lane. They are split pushing it. Out comes the bubble, though, from Arc Warden, and then we'll kill Shadow Shaman. You look at the top lane. Carter's up here, though, finishing off that tier 3. They're trying to get all these towers somehow, some way. But now Carter has to be careful to get away right here. He does pop the cheese. He's going to keep on running, though. Can maybe get another flux up? No. He's going to be out of range, and for now, we'll be fine. Puck nearby, comes back in, it's very low on life. She will end up dying because she decided to go in, but Koifa with that maelstrom. The lightning procs are real. Down goes Rubik, down goes Aegis Prophet, and that is going to be it. They clean them all up. That got scary there a little bit at the end for Team Tuho, but it ends up working out very well, and they're going on to the semifinals here. Whew, what an interesting game, though.
Yeah, and that's, like I said, that's effectively what they needed to do. They'd already forced out the buyback, so anytime they win a fight, they have their own buybacks available, and they take the hero advantage, and they take the, well, like I say, even if the Nature Prophet was still alive trying to push on to the dire base, you've still got 3-4 heroes trying to push in, killing heroes off, and then just taking objectives. So I think they could have done it inside the Radiant base instead of trying to split up for the objectives, but it did work out for them in the end. Took the game 45 minutes in. I think if they'd maybe, like I say, let it go on a little bit longer, you would have seen the Nature's Prophet being too powerful, the Arc Warden being too powerful. But they did hit those timings. They kept the Radiant down where they needed to be early game, and then just kept compounding and compounding. And like I say, we saw the victory, and they are going to be moving on to those semi-finals.
Speaking of that, the semi-final matchup, it is the one I personally was hoping for at least, and I know a fair amount of people out there on boat with me. Moff did win their series. Again, that's Tomato, Cancel, Soxa, Weehawk, Kazu there. So it's going to be Tuho versus Moff in our semifinals. One of the two semifinals, obviously that's the one we definitely are going to be casting here. And it'll be best of 3. So I'm sure they're going to look to get into that. The lobby not up just yet, but we'll be up here shortly. We'll be hopping in there. So that's exciting stuff. But, you know, Team Tuho, man, That was definitely looking scary there. I don't mind, especially this being on my own channel, everything being a little bit biased of a caster because, frankly, I'm a Team Tuho fan. Again, Insania Mick, I have history with them, but I was a little worried for them there in that game. They were making some poor decisions at times, and it got close. But they do take care of business. So
I think they were just giving them a chance, you know.
Yeah.
Saying we